Lori, you're here to present the athletic budget.
I'm here to present the first draft of the athletic budget. Carol takes care of the officiating and travel costs, so I just have basically what each team orders and what I need to run the athletic program. When I met with my coaches back in January and February, knowing that it was going to be a tough budget year, I asked them to give me only the necessities that they needed to run their program. Nothing special or something that they had to have. I needed to justify that to them. So the budget is pretty much bare bones as far as what we need in order to run our athletic program next year. Boys soccer budgeted for $1,213 and $706. That's including team balls, scoreboards, and their socks. Socks were those balls and not actually. Women's soccer, $645. Again, game balls, scoreboards, socks, and goalie gloves. Men's basketball is down to $290. They got basketballs and scorebooks. Women's basketball, $250. They got basketballs, scorebooks, and a replacement slip knot pad. The basketball players step on to take the dust off their shoes before they enter the court, so their shoes are showing up. So that is shared by all the teams. So it's just a replacement for the pad that we have. Baseball, $955. Baseball is getting, of course, their usual allotment of 4 to 6 dozen baseballs. Socks, scorebooks, and because of the new regulations with the bats, we've put in new this year. We're going to order 2 more bats to bring us up to what we need for the varsity and modified level for the new regulations and bats. Softball, $595. Softball, socks, scorebooks, and the visors that the modified team wears. They keep the same visor throughout the whole program. You give them one as an incoming 7th grader or 8th grader, and they're responsible to have that for the remainder. Golf, I budgeted the same, or I guess I'm down. Last year they had training aids they want, $400 for golf. Basically that's if they need it so that they can take the lessons from Mary Lawrence like they usually do. Golf can't get out on golf courses till very, very late. So they lose a lot of time, unlike baseball, softball, where we can practice in the gym for a month or 2, they can't. So sometimes they take advantage of going down to St. Lawrence to Mary Lawrence and get some individual lessons down there. Volleyball is up. Mainly, they're getting their bare bones, the socks and the pads, of course, and volleyballs. But then they feel they need a new set of volleyball poles for their game poles. The poles that we have in the main gym have been there forever. And then the new set that came when we put the new system in the elementary gym has gotten bent. I think part of the reason is because they try to get the net so tight. And then when the community plays on Sundays too, they have guys playing, so they raise them even further. And I think it tends to pull. So they've got a bit of a bow in them now. So we'd like to buy a set of new poles and keep them for competition only. The girls won't even use them to practice. They're using the old poles to practice. But then game time is when the new poles will come out and they will be designated for game poles only. That way, hopefully, they will last a little bit longer without bending or bowing. Swimming, she'd like a second pace block. The swimming is $1,500. She'd like a second pace block because she runs varsity meets or practices and modifies in the same pool but on separate sides. So if they're doing time things, it's hard for especially clock in the middle to see. So she kind of wanted a pace block. Some extra goggles just to have on hand. I guess this year, a couple times girls strap broke or somebody forgot their goggles and they didn't have an extra pair right on hand. So we wanted just a few extra pairs of goggles to have on hand. Whistles, the ordinary whistles and swim caps, and then a little bit extra for stopwatches. typically we buy 8 to 10 a year, but they weren't waterproof. And this year, she said by the end of the season, she only had about 10 working stopwatches. And if you've ever been to swim meet, each lane has to have 3 timers. So she would like 24 waterproof stopwatches. This is a little extra, but I think it'll last us a lot longer than just buying a regular stopwatch that's not waterproof. Cheerleading, same $500. I talked to Angie and Rachel. They buy their shirts, their bowls for their hair, their socks, and those kinds of things. So that's it for the sports. And then the equipment that I need as far as to run the sports programs, $800 for the paint for the fields, soccer, baseball, softball, awards and banquets. I kept it at $1,000. That's to cover letters and pens and anything we use from Kathy in the cafeteria for the nights of the banquets. Rule books for each of the coaches, the same. Medical supplies I kept the same. That's the tape, the Band-Aids, the first aid spray, all that kind of stuff. Same for clinics and conferences, $800. We have a clinic coming up that coaches are going to. So that's any clinics or something that comes up during the year that our coaches would like to attend. And then the rotational uniform fund, this year was men's soccer's turn to get uniforms. Joe felt that he did not need a whole new set of uniforms. This will be the second time, I believe, the soccer has turned down uniforms, so they're on their 6th year already. But he feels that they're good enough. There are a few that have gotten stained or bloody, so he would like, I think it was 6 extra sets just to fill in for the ones that they've lost. And those 6 sets come to $950. And then, Susan, is that kind of your copy? Yes. Okay. I put down $500 for the impact concussion program. It listens to the sports realm. Concussions is a big topic right now. Impact is a program where for this, if we implemented it next year, we would bring in every athlete before soccer season started. And then it's a computerized program. They get on and they answer a bunch of questions. Basically, that gives them a baseline. It gives you a baseline of where their brain is functioning at. So then if they are concussed at some point during the season, you can go back and give them that test again, and it will show changes. And I think it's a good paper to have when they go back to our doctor to get released. You can give them that test. The doctor can see where there's changes, and maybe it's not, maybe they may be symptom-free, but it might not be time for them to go back yet. They may not be completely healed. So that's another indicator to help the doctor as to whether they should go back. We had an athlete right there in basketball season that got a concussion and was out for about 2 weeks. Maybe this would have helped the doctor as far as determining whether she was ready to come back or not if we had had that baseline. The first year of the program, it will cost us about $500. The second year, it won't be as much because we just test the incoming athletes. The other ones have already got their baseline. So you would only test the new athletes coming into your sports programs. So that program for this year will cost $500. That's, any questions? Kind of bare bones.
The concussion program sounds interesting, but they don't have to, each student doesn't have to refresh every year. They don't, it must be the questions are generic enough where it's not based on what they're doing in school or something.
No,
It's speed
not
and
at all.
frequency.
It's speed and frequency, it's kind of memories and doing things and memory and
It's how quick you react.
No athletic director monies, where does that fall?
That's contractual.
Okay.
She's saying for materials and supplies.
Oh, okay,
It's not-
okay.
Not for place.
Okay. And coaching salary, moving on a little bit, looks like. And
That's
officials.
contractual.
that's the contract. Basically, what you're doing is the bonds.
This is the 4C services.
That's what we actually pay section 10 to how that works. I left that part up to Carol.
Thank you.
I like the idea of the concussion. It is very difficult to judge if it already said that.
Yeah.
Emily had a serious concussion, and she was not allowed back after her first 2 days. But it was, I mean, you're in there, and you're going back and forth, and there is no real way to know. And if this helps at all in helping the student understand and the parent understand where things are coming from, I think it's not a problem.
Because you might do something free and not cover the
Right.
doctor asks, about your symptoms, but it still takes on board, connecting this right, this program will show that.
Well, we have wonderful dedicated athletes.
Yes.
You know,
That's why not.
they're gonna wanna play, and there's no question. And they're gonna say, well, I feel a little, but it's okay. You know, and they may not understand how serious it can be.
That's a good point. Some kid wants to really get.
Oh, yeah, they're
You can't pass the test, you
kids.
should have the final say.
They are.
And you could, there's people, like, say for instance, a child got a pumpkin and did go to the doctor and was not diagnosed. But myself or the coach feels there must be something going on, you just put him on the control him or her and test him and see where his baseline was. And if he's showing, some irregularities, you could send that report with him to the doctor.
Good point.
It also gives a definitive time that they have to wait or sit out till they can pass, because we've had parents go to coaches and say, I want my kid to play. And this would then enable us,
It's hard.
it is hard, because
It's hard to tell
you
them.
can't see it play.
You've done, on paper, a nice job of keeping these numbers down, but are we losing anything to get the numbers down where you have them for the programs? Are we, going through the different programs, boys and girls programs, and we brought the numbers down quite a bit.
Right.
So what's making the difference? What do you?
Just, I told them to get just what they need, like, there's no training devices.
Okay.
It's, sometimes Freddie, a few years ago, Fred brought those plyometric boxes to help his kids with jumping. Exercise bands, I bought kettlebells for my softball team for strength training. We didn't get any of that kind of stuff, like, I said just basically what you had to have to run the program.
Good. I think it's, on paper it looks good, but I just want to make sure the kids have it.
I think so.
You're making sure.
I think so. We're all willing to share.
Mhm.
We have something for soccer program tomorrow, some basketball program.
Thanks, Lori.
Yeah, yes.
Carol, do you have anything to add on sports before?
Thank you, Lori, for all your work.
Would you like to present your cafeteria?
I have a PowerPoint that I'd like to show. I know that you've heard in the news the law that was passed in December of last year, Michelle Obama has announced. And it is definitely in effect. It will go in effect June or July 1st, but starting September 1st, it will be in effect. And there's some major changes. And the budget, I can't definitely tell you this. This is Carol's, and she'll explain that to you. I want to give her time if you have questions on that. And a lot of those numbers she got from me, but I just don't know definitely how to read it. I do want to tell you that one of the things is that the summer program went in the hole last year, almost $4,000, I believe. That's what the budget says. Some of it is because we had 5 sites. We were trying to get food to kids for free if they wanted it. But I don't know that there was enough participation. And the space is so far apart. If we quit at one and people were going there, I just didn't know how to handle it. And hopefully, this year, there won't be a contingency budget and we'll be able to have it back, I'm hoping, back here. If that's not the case, that is something the board has to decide whether you want to do the summer program and take a chance or not. And I like to leave these kind of decisions up to the board. I've always anybody that's been on the board for a while knows that I've always had a deep respect for the board, and you guys, you know the school and you know what's been going on over the years. I've come in the past and asked to raise prices. I knew we were going in the hole, and at one point, we didn't because there's a lot of people out of work, and that line between where free reduced ends and the people making enough to pay those paid lunches really cuts people in the heart. And I do agree with the board that they didn't raise the prices, and they've been very supportive of me. And so I just did want to lay out those few things and say to the board, if you feel I'm doing too much, at one point they wanted to feed the kids healthy meals, no matter what, and we need to cut back places, I want your input, and I'm willing to take your advice on whatever. And if you want to continue to feed them, even though it's in the hole, I want to do that too. I want to do, not me. I'm not a professional on making PowerPoints, but I thought this is the best way to go through this, and it's not a very long one. Let's see if I can get it to work. And basically that's just telling you about the summer, the new mandates that are coming in. And one of the things they're proposing, one of the things that's a law is that we have to offer every student, make sure every student has an offering of a cup of vegetable and a cup of fruit right now the breakfast is not involved, it will be next year. I mean the year after. But they don't have to take the whole cup, but it will be required now that one of the things that's on their tray is a fruit. They're questioning whether they're going to change that so it can be a fruit or a vegetable, but at this point, they have to have a half a cup of fruit out of the 5 food groups. And fruit, as you know, is not cheap. This is our normal serving line. We took some of these pictures last fall just because my staff wanted to have some of those things. So this is a normal serving line on a normal day. We always try to have fresh fruit. We always try to have a variety of canned fruit. And it's kind of hard to see because of the lights, I think. But we have cold every day. We try to have the cold wraps, which is the veggie wrap or a turkey veggie wrap, something like that. And we always try to have the large chef salads, one that has meat and one that doesn't, so it accommodates vegetarians too. It has cheese but no meat. The amounts of meat and cheese on that might have to change. I believe they're going to lower those. Another fruit, and they also have the sub choices. Now when you get a menu, you just see we're having hot dogs with, let's say we're having hot dogs with macaroni and cheese and green beans, fruit and milk. But they'll also have all these choices besides the hot dogs. And there's ham, subs, and turkey. When I first came here, one day was ham, the next day was turkey, and I've changed it so that is there every day. There's tossed salad every day in the small cups. And this is a day that we had pasta salad plus the tossed salad. We do homemade soups almost every week, once a week, and I try to make enough to last when it's cooled down to be reheated just one time, usually we reheat it, and it'll usually go for 2 or 3 days. But at some point, these regulations are going to stop that, because if it doesn't have enough vegetable to count as a vegetable, or enough protein to count as a protein, it's going to be a cost that the school is wasting, and it's going to raise the sodiums and the fats. So we're gonna have to make decisions on how much we're gonna cut and where, because this law has teeth. If they cite us for that, we have to cut it, or they cut reimbursement. So there is teeth to this new law. Shows, we had the broccoli soups on that side, and the chicken noodle, not all the kids like cream of broccoli, and corn. Sometimes though, if I make homemade chicken noodle, that's all we have as a choice, because they like that, and it usually goes in a day or so. This is chili with beans. I know that this doesn't seem like it has a lot to do with the budget, but in a cafeteria, this has everything to do with the budget. There's 5 food groups that have to be offered: the milk, the protein, the bread, the vegetable, and the fruit. And a lot of times you think, well, I had milk because I had yogurt. That doesn't fit in school reimbursable rules. Yogurt is a protein, but it can't be counted as part of your milk. You have to have a liquid, fluid, 8-ounce milk to count as a milk. So the guidelines are very strict, and the student has to take 3 of the 5. And in the new group, one of those 3 is going to be a fruit that's required. Whether or not they like fruit, they're gonna have to take it. And they want them to take a whole cup. Kindergarten, no. So one of the things I'd like to do to try to help myself is to put juice in with milk and let them take a juice in a milk. A juice can count as half of your fruit, which will be that half a cup, so it will fulfill that if they don't want the rest of the fruit. That's going to be an expense, though, that's going to be added when you offer that every day. And it can only count as half the fruit. No, if you drank 32 ounces of juice, it would still only count as half a fruit, because that's the way the laws go. So I just have a few little pictures here that are things that kids took, and their actual lunches. They wanted us to take some pictures of what they like and what their tray looks like. And I do have a couple here that are not legal because they don't have, the wrap will count as a bread, the meat inside that wrap will count as a protein, but they need more than a half a cup, half a juice to be a full juice. So they either have to take milk or vegetable or something to make up that other half. And this is the same type of thing. They need a fruit with that. So this is sort of just a review of what I've just said. I do have samples of this. It's on a lot of the websites. And this is the government showing us the old way compared to the bottom, which is the new way. And in the true form of the government, they have hamburgers matched with tossed salad, and they have pizza matched with hot dogs. So it's very hard to compare the old way with the new way when you look at their, and when you get a chance to really look at it. But you should go on and look at it because it's on a lot of different websites. I've taken 2 hours in the fall on what these new regulations are. We've been talking about them. We know they're coming. We know we've been preparing for them now for 3 years, but now they're actually law. And I took 2 webinars so far between the 25th and now on them, and there is a lot more to learn. The government, hopefully, I've been moving us that way with our lunches, so we won't have as big an impact this year. The government is proposing that every school is going to have at least 2% raise with this. And this is the government's prediction from 2012 for the next 4 years, and the type of percentage we're going to see raised in order to follow these guidelines, and the cost raise. And you can see 8% in 15-16 when the breakfast is fully implemented and a lot of these other regulations. plate waste is probably gonna be big, they don't care. And, so I just wanna prepare you that when costs are rising, and mine was higher this year, because we've already moved into some of that stuff. We've already put those vegetables and fruits there to up that. We have a salad bar that has a lot of those fresh vegetables and things on them for their salad. So I'm always, and I've always been in the hole. And I'm sorry, I wish I could say that I'm not, but I have. And you can see produce, this is last year's, if you could see the difference, if I'd have done one from like 2007, so you could see the difference in the cost of produce now that you're giving more fruits and vegetables. Ice cream's kind of high, but it doesn't always mean I'm serving ice cream. I try to serve it once a month. There's a lot of kids that don't get anything like that. And sometimes it's not ice cream, sometimes it is a frozen yogurt, you know, something like that. But I do try to serve it once a month with the meals, so that if there are kids that want it, they can have it. That might go very soon too. But also there's places where maybe teacher wants to buy ice cream for her class. I sell that to them at cost. And a lot of those things may change to regulations and how we're gonna sell at cost and stuff. So, and the income is, if you look at the reimbursement income, that last line on there, that's what the government's giving me. For each child, it gives a little over $2. For the free ones, it gives 25 cents for the paid ones. And what you see there is why they can tell me what I'm doing, because they're putting in the money. And if you look at my payroll and insurance, and Carol's may be different, hers is going to be more exact than mine. But mine has like all of the retirement and all that stuff included as that payroll. If you look at the total budget, 329, you can see that's 2/3 of the budget is the payroll, and I'm a big problem with that. I'm sorry, but I think if you look at almost any food service director, and one of the things that schools do, and BOCES does, to make it look better, is once my wage is taken out and put in administrative budget, or put in a BOCES